Hello and welcome to this particular Sunday, which is not the ordinary Sundays of the year, but the Feast of the Presentation, Feast of Candlemas. Christmas crib in St. Peter's Square is left in place until today. It's a reminder to us that the Christmas story is about Jesus. Luke comes to an end today at the 40 days after Christmas with a celebration of the presentation of Jesus in the temple. The presentation of Jesus serves two purposes. The first is the redemption of the firstborn, and the second is the purification of Mary. The firstborn belongs to the Lord according to the book of Exodus, but Numbers tells us that the firstborn could be redeemed or bought back by paying 5 shekels. The purification of the mother in Jewish law, which we find in Leviticus, was purification from ritual uncleanliness after childbirth. Of course, Our Lady did not need this purification because she was a virgin before, during, and after the birth of Jesus. But she underwent it to fulfill the law. She was obedient to the law. The purification was normally performed in the local synagogue, but Mary and Joseph decided it should take place in the temple. If the family could afford it, they would offer a 1-year-old lamb, but if not, they could offer 2 young pigeons. This is Jesus' first visit of many to the temple. It is the fulfillment of the prophecy of Malachi in the first reading. Suddenly they will come to the temple, the Lord whom you seek. When Jesus was presented in the temple, everything foreseen in Malachi was already beginning to unfold, and would be fully unfolded when Jesus would die on the cross, and the priests of the new covenant will continue to make that sacrifice present in the pure sacrifice of the Mass. Therefore, Jesus is indeed a light to enlighten the Gentiles, and the glory of Israel, as we hear prophesied by Simeon. Simeon was awaiting the consolation of Israel. The Holy Spirit enlightened him to know that the consolation was now beginning with the birth of Jesus. The prophetess Anna was awaiting the redemption of Jerusalem, and she was also enlightened to know that this redemption was now occurring in Jesus. And she spoke about Jesus to all awaiting the redemption of Jerusalem. Simeon awaiting the consolation of Israel, Anna awaiting the redemption of Jerusalem. Mary and Joseph have pondered on the words of Simeon and Anna, wondering what this meant for their child. They, like most new parents, probably had dreams for him, but the prophecy of Simeon and the words of Anna sounded somewhat ominous. Incidentally, the custom of blessing candles today comes from the fact of in ancient Rome, the station for the Mass today was a church in the ruins of the Forum, and since it was in the middle of winter, it was dark and people needed candles to find their way among the ruins. The devotion to the young Jesus, the light of the world, presents him as one who overcomes the darkness. Simeon's response when he first met the infant Jesus was to pray. He blessed God. His prayer has become part of the official night prayer of the Church. Anna's response on meeting the child Jesus was to speak about Jesus to others, especially to those who were waiting for God to visit them in a special way. We too are called to receive the Lord in prayer and in a witness. We bless God and we thank God in prayer for the gift of His Son, the light to enlighten all people. And we proclaim God's gift to others by witnessing to the Lord in our lives. We do this in what we do in our actions. The Lord, who entered the temple in Jerusalem as the light of the world, has entered into our lives. Today we look to Simeon and Anna to show us how to respond to this gracious calling.